Listen, most parents and teachers, I think, would like to know that their kids could persevere through hardship if they chose to. What sorts of hardships do we want them to tackle is a little bit subjective, but which ones do you want to let slide as well? It's a bit of a toss up, right? Some kids are more than happy going through some hardship if it means playing Tekken or Street Fighter for hours and hours till they reach the boss level at the end of the game, right? Is that resilience? I suppose you could describe it as something like that. We always have to think about things in context. So we need to have some idea of the things that we value in order to determine whether something is worth pursuing or not, whether something is worth persevering in order to reach that prize in the distance is something that is a little bit of a subjective judgment call. Why am I saying this? Well, I think if we can determine early on the things that really matter, then we don't have to waste our energy persevering with things that don't matter. Resilience is not a character trait. It's a choice. Excuse me. Some kids have low levels of emotionality as a character trait, but sometimes we confuse that with resilience. Just because they don't show distress in an obvious way, ostensibly, but we say that they're resilient as they simply just go through the motions doing tasks that we ask them because they might be super compliant, and that's not resilient. Then there are those emotionally sensitive children who cry in distress at the drop of a hat, literally, and they stop doing tasks because they are upset, and then to everyone's disappointment and chagrin, everyone says, oh my gosh, they're not resilient. But these kids stay in the moment. They don't run away. They stay in spite of their pain, and that is resilient. We don't give those kids enough credit. Whether someone demonstrates resilience or not depends on the context, their personal drives and motivations, interests, whether they persist in the pursuit of those interests in spite of hardship. I am sick and tired of hearing mental health professionals in my profession blame patients, blame clients who make noise that they're not getting better, or their loved ones are not getting the help that they need and being ignored, and they're being described as having personality disorders. No, they don't have personality disorders. People seem to throw around these labels just because they don't like someone. That's wrong. That's an abuse. That's an abuse of power. Anyway, I'm digressing. All right. Think of those who go against the grain and don't follow the herd in spite of pressure to do so. They don't buckle because they are in pursuit of what they want. Maybe you can confuse that with stubbornness, but again, context is important. Do you know what drives them? Do you know what motivates them? What is the fruit that they bear? What can we do to help kids carry on momentum along their path? How do we help them to not lose steam? How do we teach them to motivate themselves to keep going in spite of things making them difficult to carry on, obstacles, barriers? Personally, I believe starting the day with a personal mantra, saying something that's life affirming sets your intent on something to strive for. That's a great practice, and I think that will stand you in good stead in the future. We should ask ourselves what we are grateful for in our lives and what we intend for our lives. Nothing in life that wasn't already given to us is free. We all have to wake up every morning and go after what we want. For some, those things don't seem close to reach, but I don't think that matters as long as you set your intentions. I like to say, don't set goals, fix your intentions, because goal setting is fleeting. It's like grasping at clouds. You're always going to feel like you fall short. But if you set your intention on something, wherever, it doesn't matter if you don't reach goals. As long as your intent is to continue to keep moving forward, you're better off you're better off today than you were yesterday. Focus on your personal journey. Kids, learn this from watching us. Watch us model that for them. We have to show them. It's difficult to teach perseverance without models and real representations of what that looks like, what that feels like. And the best people to teach that is going to be you. Parents, teachers, adults, doctors, psychiatrists. They have to see you deliberately and intentionally pursue something that you want. Don't be afraid to share your journey with your children and tell them about your struggles. Because it's okay. Because you're going to keep going. There are some caveats, of course, though. You don't want them forming a complex. Don't make them want your dream. Don't bang on and on and on about how tough life is. They'll find out for themselves. And you'll be there to support them. Don't freak them out with your stories of hardships unless you want them to learn from those hardships. Don't compare them to other children. Never, ever, ever compare them to other kids. It's tempting, but don't do that. Give them some pragmatic, easy to follow steps to follow when difficult emotions bubble up at times of hardship. Help them to develop a personal mantra. And I'm really serious about that. Self-talk is powerful. Teach them to focus on their prize. Tune into that. Tune out the noise. Focus on yourself. Stay consistent. Teach them how to breathe with their diaphragms. Use analogy. My favorite is this idea that in order to find your balance in life, you have to feel that struggle. You have to feel that wobble. You're sitting on a seesaw. How do you balance in the middle of a seesaw if you don't experience that wobble? You need it. Anyway, there you go. Those are some of my ideas that you can take into the weekend and mull over in your minds this week. And hey, I forgot to mention, the practice of empathic discipline has landed. Yes, it's ready. Go and get it. You won't regret it. If you're tired of forcing compliance against resistance, you don't have to. Why? Why? Be influential by building trust. Be influential in your kids' lives and other people's lives through connection. You don't have to strive. Just be there for people. Connect with people. If you want them to thrive, connect with people. Empathize. There's this thing called empathy. People talk about it all the time. But you don't get it. Empathy means connection, building relationships, being there for people, being genuine, sincere, no agenda, Okay, no judgments, no preconceived ideas. You're there for people because you want people to thrive. Connect with people. Connect with your kids. huddlewisdom.com/practice. Get that in you. If we can influence a generation of people that cares for other people more than themselves because they know that other people care for them in the same way, how amazing our lives could be. huddlewisdom.com/practice. Go and get that stuff now, okay? All right. Hey, I'm grateful to you, my friends. Thank you for listening to me rant on and on and on about this stuff, but I think it's important. Get into it. Empathic discipline, the practice. Get it now. Now. See you later, my friends. Bye.